Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Behind the Curtain. My name is Edward Hart. I'm the Dean of the School of the Arts. Let's hear it for air conditioner. Feels good, doesn't it? Well, I'm so glad to see all of you here, and I'd like to extend a special welcome to our colleagues from around campus and our alumni. We're very happy that you're here. So last year when we did this event, you may remember that we took a moment and looked back at the 2020-2021 school year. And as you remember, I'm sure, that was really at the heart of the difficulty in terms of the pandemic. And the point I think I was trying to make then was that our school not only survived, but they thrived. They really did well, and I was so proud of the things they achieved. And when I was telling you about this last year, I thought, well, the 2021-22 school year will be smooth sailing, business as usual. As we all know, there were some headwinds there. But once again, the school did very well. In fact, I think, thanks to our talented faculty, staff, and students, we had our most ambitious season to date. So thank you. Let's take a quick look back at last season. Thank you. So I wish I could take credit for all of this wonderful stuff, but honestly, I can't. But I'm going to introduce some folks to you that can take so much of this credit, our academic leadership. So you know who you are. Come on up. Come on. Come on. I know they're not shy. So this group of people represents the leadership of the School of the Arts, chairs, program directors. And I think I mentioned to you last year, and forgive me for repeating myself, but if you run into one of these folks, a chair on the corner, pat them on the back. Tell them it's going to be all right. Buy them a cup of coffee or something stronger, because these folks really make things happen. They are on the front lines, and they do such good work, and we are so fortunate to have such a great team. So I'm just going to introduce these folks, and when I call your name, I don't know, that's your moment to raise your hand, do a dance, or whatever you want to do. So we'll start with Sarah Frankel, the chair of Studio Art. Grant Gilmore, the program director for Historic Preservation and Community Planning. Kate Keeney, the Program Director for Arts Management. Marian Mazzoni, the Chair of the Department of Art and Architectural History. So I'm going to have to pause here for a second and tell you that Marian deserves a special recognition. You see, Marian is a new chair this year. However, she's not really a new chair. She was chair some years ago and did a wonderful job then and has come back for more. And I'm really happy that she has. So we have Janine McCabe, the chair of the Department of Theater and Dance. Gretchen McLean, the program director for dance. And Michael O'Brien, the chair of the Department of Music. And last but not least, the person that keeps me out of more trouble with the possible exception of my wife, our Associate Dean, Todd McNerney. Thank you all. You can go have a seat. So one of the great parts of my job is I get to help welcome new faculty to our ranks. And, I'm always amazed. When they do job searches, I have to interview all the prospective candidates. Y'all come on up. New faculty, come on up. But we landed on some really great ones this year, and I'd like to introduce you to them. Come on up. All right. Oh, there you are. You're up there, too. How about time for your close-up? So I am just going to do your names in the list I've got, and once again, you can dance or you can jump or whatever you'd like. So we have Rebecca Farrell in Arts Management. Rebecca has a background in dance as a manager, performer, choreographer, as a lecturer, and she was recently a lecturer at the Kennedy Center. So we have Rebecca Moffett, who is joining Historic Preservation and Community Planning. Rebecca is Canadian, and so she's very much used to the weather we're having here. Actually, that's true because she got a master's degree from the College of Charleston, so she knew what she was getting into. So she's obviously not bad. Thank you. Peter Spearman. Peter joins the Department of Theater and Dance. He is a recent PhD from Tufts University. Looking at his CV, he could probably teach every single class in the School of the Arts and do my job at the same time. He's that talented. He is also not bothered by the heat and humidity because he's a graduate of the College of Charleston and a native Charlestonian. And finally, we have Jonathan Wentz joining the Department of Theater and Dance. Jonathan is a very gifted scenic designer who comes to us from the faculty of Coastal Carolina. Seems like Charleston was, well, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to be ugly. I'm not going to be ugly. He has an amazing resume. He's done work all over the country. And one of the things I love about Jonathan, whenever I see him around campus, he's got a different shirt on, but they all have College of Charleston written right across it. He's a team player. So let's give it up for this group of all right, y'all can have a seat. So I'd like to give you a few of our upcoming season highlights. And just know that, I'm going to go through these quickly, but it's just a small fraction of what we do. If you would like to know more about what we do, a more detailed list, I think I have a thing in my pocket. I do. So you'll probably see these lying around the cistern yard at the tables. There's a QR code. All you got to do is point your phone at it, and it'll take you to a more detailed schedule, which is updated regularly. So let's start with the Department of Theater and Dance. They will start their season pretty soon. Looks like September 29th with the award-winning musical Violet, and that will be in the Chapel Theater. Then on this stage, we'll have a dance performance, Shifting Perspectives. If you were here last year, you saw an example of what our dance program can do. They're outstanding. You don't want to miss it. I'd also like to mention that later in the year, they'll be doing a production of Shakespeare's Two Gentlemen of Verona right here in the Satilli Theater. So the Department of Art and Architectural History have a wonderful lecture coming up called Leonardo's Fluid Thinking. So Princeton-trained Dr. Leslie Geddes is doing a lecture on Leonardo da Vinci's fascination with water, not just in his art, but the science of water and man's interaction with it. So this lecture will be equal parts art, science, and engineering, and appropriately, it'll be with our friends at the School of Sciences and Mathematics on November 15th. Next, in arts management, we're hosting Tufus Zimbabwe. Some of you may have heard of Tufus Zimbabwe. He's a really interesting guy. He is the great-grandson of the Reverend Daniel Jenkins, the founder of the Jenkins Orphanage. He is the grandnephew of Edmund Thornton Jenkins, who was a really wonderful African-American composer of the early 20th century. And he went to the Royal Academy of Music in London, got a wonderful education there, started writing music, went to Paris, and tragically died at the age of 32. Well, Tufus is really the curator of his music now. He's putting this music back together, and he's getting performances of it. In fact, Spoleto Festival USA has done some of Edmund Thornton Jenkins' work, Charleston Symphony. In fact, our own orchestra is going to do a work by Edmund Thornton Jenkins. In addition to all this, and they're having him because he's such an entrepreneur, he's an excellent jazz pianist. He went to the Berklee School of Music, and you can actually see him every Saturday night at 11:30 because his day job or night job is the pianist for the Saturday Night Live band. How about that? So he'll be very interesting. So next, the Department of Studio Art will present two wonderful guest lecturers. One from a renowned Turkish-born painter, Hayal Pazanti, and also Russian-born photographer, Sasha Rudensky. So you really should go to the Halsey Institute of Contemporary Art now because they have a wonderful exhibition entitled Only You Can Prevent a Forest by a woman named Kirsten Stoll. And it examines the global influence of chemical companies on our food supply and the efforts to downplay effects of their toxic products on our environment. And it's a really colorful, very provocative exhibit. It'll run through December 10th. But if you'd like to know more about it, they're going to be doing a lecture as part of their Citaspell series in conjunction with the College of Charleston Center for Sustainable Development. And finally, we come to the music department, and they have a very big season planned. So firstly, the International Piano Series, which happens right in this room, will have its finale on March 28th featuring Awadajian Pratt. Awadajian Pratt is an amazing, legendary pianist. He's an Avery Fisher Career Grant awardee. He's played with basically every major orchestra in America and most of them abroad. He has performed 3 times at the White House in front of 2 different presidents. Our opera program will continue its success, I'm sure, with a production of Tales of Hoffmann. And again, this will be on this stage, and it will feature the Charleston Symphony Orchestra in the pit. So I don't know if you really realize how special that is for a 19-year-old opera student to sing with a professional opera in a beautiful place like this. It really is a unique opportunity. And finally, if you find yourself in Washington, D.C. in February, go to the Kennedy Center because that's where you'll find the College of Charleston Orchestra, which has been invited to play the Kennedy Center. Under the direction of our friend Yuri Becker. So, you know, it's fun to tell you about all that's going to happen, but it doesn't really replace seeing some actual performances take place. So you're in for a treat. So this year, we're going to feature students from our Department of Music, and we're going to begin, we'll have 2 performances. We're going to begin with a solo piano work featuring Clara Camacho playing Chopin's Etude, Opus 25, number 11. And then she's going to be joined by Peyton Lee on violin and Zach Butler on cello. They'll be doing 2 movements from Piazzolla's 4 Seasons of Buenos Aires, summer and spring. I think we got summer now, actually. So at any rate, would you please help me welcome to the stage Clara Camacho. So they were terrific. We're so proud of our music students. Obviously, you are all our friends, or you wouldn't be here. But we'd be very glad for you to become official friends of the School of the Arts. So, as you can see, you can become all types of friends here, and with various perks. I especially like the one under benefactor, exclusive gatherings with the dean. I can feel my wife rolling her eyes somewhere in this room right now, so at any rate. So it does come with perks. In fact, one of the perks is that you'll be invited as a friend of the School of the Arts to a new event we're doing, which is a celebration of publication. And this will be on November 10th at the Blacklock House on Bull Street, beautiful place. And we're going to be celebrating research that happens within our school with a focus on books published by faculty members. So we'll have faculty members presenting books, talking briefly about the books. There'll be wine involved. It should be a lot of fun. Now, so we are also announcing something very interesting tonight. For the first time, that Sarah Chang will be performing with our school orchestra on April 3rd. So my staff sort of dared me to use the term friends with benefits, but you really do have a benefit here. I did it, by the way. The benefit being that if you're a friend of the School of the Arts, you can get priority ticketing for this. So in other words, you'll get to pick your seat before the public gets to pick their own seat. And this is certainly going to sell out. Just to refresh some of your memories, Sarah Chang made her debut with the New York Philharmonic and the Philadelphia Orchestra at the age of 8. She subsequently has played in every major orchestra in the world. She's been featured on over 20 CDs, and it's going to be a thrill to have her here. And the best part, though, of course, is that after the concert, the next day, she'll be giving master classes to our violin students. I mean, how great is that, to have somebody of this caliber? So finally, tonight, many of you know that we've got a pretty massive renovation going on at the Simmons Center. And it's really taking shape. I mean, literally before our eyes. You can see new parts of the building being built. If you walk by it, there's this tremendous sort of cement block, which is going to become our new Black Box Theater. In fact, there are a lot of new performing and academic spaces, and very good opportunities for you to name one of those spaces. And if you're interested in that, please pull me aside, and I'll be happy to talk with you about it. You know, many of you, I'm sure, have been involved with renovations. You've renovated your house, your kitchen, whatever. And usually, renovations come with surprises. And most of them are pretty bad surprises. Every now and then, you find a good surprise. Come on. What'd you expect? This is the School of the Arts, right? It's going to be a show. Suspense is killing you, isn't it? It's coming. You can come up closer once we, but don't fall. Wait, just come up. Yes, you don't want to become the news, do you? Yes, if you have a cell phone, you might want to get it out. You can come on right there if you want. That's a better angle. Is that better? You like that light? Okay. All right, almost there. Suspense is killing me. It's like a ride at Disney. Okay, so while we were doing our renovation, the early stages of our renovation, during the kind of demolition part of our renovation, we found a time capsule. Told you it'd be a surprise. So, we know it's a time capsule because you can't see it from where you are, but maybe you'll get a look at it. Oh, there we are, see? If you had really good eyes, you could see that there's a stamp here that says 9/9/1977, which is when the Simmons Center was built. And so this is a copper box that's been sealed. We have no idea what's in this thing. Do you think we should crack it open tonight? So there's been much speculation about what's inside here. Now, it was 1977, so it could be a pair of platform shoes and a disco record. This could be some elaborate fraternity hoax. We just don't know. I know there's something in here. I can feel it. I've shaken it. There is something in here. It could be a pair of dirty socks. If you are old enough to remember this is the time to turn to your neighbor and make a crack about Geraldo's vault. Remember that one? Now, clearly, I'm going to need some help opening this. So I'd like to invite to the stage a member of our faculty from the sculpture area, Jared Charzewski. Come on out, Jared. Now, Jared has informed me that he can crack this thing open quickly. And, but first, before we do, Jared, I would like you to confirm that this has not been tampered with and we have no idea what's inside. Take a good look.
It seems pretty tight, yeah.
Okay, good. All right. So Jared can get into this pretty quickly, but here's the problem. We don't know what's inside. So we need somebody to be able to very carefully and expertly handle the contents of this. So I've called on our friend, the Dean of the Libraries, John White, to handle the artifacts. John, come on out. Okay, y'all have the angles you need? Come on over. I'm ready for my close-up. Okay. You ready? We don't want to miss anything. Okay, let's do this. Jared, if you will do the honors. Safety first, folks, safety first. I saw you kick. Okay, there is something in here. It's official. Let me get the. Dean White, will you do the honors, please? Oops, You never know. You never know. I knew he had a background in showbiz. I just knew it. Do you want me to scoot this thing up? A lot of stuff. Wow, okay. So that's it right there? Oh, there's more. Oh, wait, there's more. Don't cut yourself. Oh, no, more, no, one more. Wow, okay. That's it. Okay, so what do we have here? John, you think we should just sort of give them the narration of what we see here? You want to start with this one? We have, I don't know if you can see this. Here, is it okay for me to touch this without the white gloves?
Probably it's paper.
You can show the camera the outside first. You see the name? Albert Simmons is on the envelope. A course catalog from 1934-35. College newsletter from 1972. An article in not the Post and Courier, but the News and Courier about Albert Simmons. A profile. A copy of Preservation Progress from the Preservation Society of Charleston, dated 1963, probably about Albert Simmons. Okay. A card from Lucas Stubbs from Robert M. Blakely, who is from Lucas and Stubbs, I guess, the architects. What is that? Let's get that thing open and see what we got. Oh, wow.
Photos.
Like the original, looks like Polaroid photos of the Simmons Center. And, hey, why don't you put it by the camera so they can see? That one right there. No, that one. Can you see that? That's where the construction site was, where the Simmons Center is now. Look at there. Oh, wow. Kind of looks like it does now. A cassette recording of the cornerstone ceremony for the Simmons Center. We're gonna see what that is. should bust it open. Well, it wasn't a fraternity prank, after all. Wow, this is a good tradition. Copy of the what is it? Oh, Freemasons literature. Oh, interesting. Yeah, very interesting. So this was found, the time capsule, behind a stone. Some of you might remember it on St. Philip Street that had engraved with Freemason information. Right behind that was this box. Oh, wow. Somebody's lunch. Is it special?
No, I don't think so.
It's dirt.
It is the dye used.
Oh, no. Okay, it's the dye used in the mortar. How about that? Okay, that's kind of neat. It's powdery brick colored. And now it's, aren't you glad you have the gloves? Okay. Go with this. So the outside of this envelope is V. Rivers. Okay. And we have a card that was next to it, a resident engineer for underground utilities, Clemson grad, 75, Thomas Baldwin. Building plans. And I think, wow, those are also building plans. You want to show them a little bit? How interesting. President's report. We have the President's report from 68 to 70. And we have, in the News and Courier, Stern to resign in June. How interesting. Ted Stern was the former president, as I'm sure most of you know. Yeah, what is that? Oh, wow. Oh, how interesting. World War II U.S. Army Transportation Corps, 15th Mobile Fort Insignia, ports of Charleston, South Carolina, Boston, Liverpool, and so on. You want to show them? Pull one out and. It's a box full of insignias. Interesting. Okay, let's see. Now we have a Ziploc bags. I guess they had those back then. I think this is from the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. I assume those are the electricians. And there's let's read that card right there. Another card from Lucas and Stubbs. And I'm not sure who this is.
David Matthews, Palmetto something company.
Any concrete?
Yeah, superintendent, yeah.
Okay, this is a note. This is a note from somebody named David E. Matthews, Palmetto Concrete, we think, company, superintendent, dated 4/3/78 at 9:30 a.m. It's written right there. And there's just a quote on this piece of paper. I used to smoke, drink, and use foul language for no reason. Then I started working here. I now have a reason. I better not hear any of my faculty say that. So it would be awful for me not to thank our terrific School of the Arts staff for putting together this wonderful event. Tiffany Gamble, Todd McNerney, Nandina McCauley, Joanna Allen. They've really done a great job. But it ain't over. I need a drink. Maybe you do too. I'm sure it's cooled down a little bit now. Thank you all for coming. I hope you do join me for a glass of wine across the way. We're going to go out that side door right there instead of behind the stage. They will direct you right there, and I will see you over in the cistern yard.